China has long been shooting for the moon, and these tiny lunar rocks brought back are one of the reasons why the moon is sort of a stepping stone for a lot of the ambitious plans China has far off in the future. These grains of lunar soil provide a glimpse into the valuable resources China wants to extract to use on planet Earth one day. High on its list is helium-3, a rare substance the moon has a lot of, but even if there is that much helium-3 available on the moon, scientists have yet to figure out how to unlock its potential. But if one nation or company could figure out how to do it, that would be a game changer. China isn't alone. NASA has also studied the possibility of using helium-3 to power the Earth. And companies are working on grabbing a piece of the moon too. So to get ahead, China is developing heavy-lift rockets and planning a lunar research base to get closer to one day mining the moon for rocks like this. At the end of 2020, China successfully brought back nearly 4 pounds of lunar samples and later confirmed that they contain traces of water. They're not the first to make this discovery. NASA did this over a decade ago from a distant spacecraft orbiting the moon. China, on the other hand, went on the ground using a probe to analyze moon rocks in their undisturbed environment. It's the first time this type of measurement was made on the moon. Joseph Mikulski is with the Laboratory for Space Research at the University of Hong Kong, and he's been studying some of the lunar samples that were shared by the Chinese government. He says China's ability to do on-site experiments is one of the first steps in moon mining that validates the connection between what's measured on the ground versus in orbit, and that opens up the door to land there and feel more confident. This confidence can help China locate a rare substance as it tries to lessen its dependence on coal and reach net zero emissions by 2060. The search for helium-3 comes at a time in which China is looking to diversify its energy mix and transition towards a cleaner energy landscape. China's lunar exploration team says the moon has more than 1 million tons of helium-3 in the soil. Scientists say it has the potential to generate safer nuclear energy and a fusion reactor that isn't radioactive and can be used to power the Earth. But China's research on helium-3 is still at a very early stage. Scientists still haven't figured out how to map the lunar surface, extract the substance, and then process it. You guys guessed it. This is going to require more complex missions involving not only robotic probes, but also humans on the moon. There will be a significant amount of infrastructure needed for humans to survive on the moon. Because of this, humanity will need heavy-lift rockets to get more of that infrastructure to the moon. An extreme amount of thrust is needed to lift large payloads and also to travel quickly so that we can get humans from Earth to the moon in days, not weeks. China hasn't launched one yet, but the country's largest state-owned space firm said recently that it successfully test-fired a solid-fueled motor. The China Academy of Launch Vehicle Technology said, one day China's heavy-lift rockets will be capable of carrying a payload of 150 tons to low Earth orbit. If all goes as planned, this is what China says its research base on the moon could look like when humans arrive there for long-term exploration. This is China's animation of the International Lunar Research Station. It's planning to build it with Russia and have it operational by 2035. Based on the blueprint, the base would be equipped with communications, energy, and exploration facilities to help mine the moon. What is likely to happen is an initial smaller base would be built to prove out the concept, then a larger scale one would be built. Then they will likely expand into villages, cities, and so on. However, there is a lot of unpredictability ahead amid Russia's war in Ukraine. Projects between the Russian Space Agency and Western partners have been suspended. This is already starting to impact Russia's research and its work with China. It's very hard to say how or when they can achieve this, but when it comes to helium-3, there are so many points that must be aligned for it to be a reality. Plus, the industry of moon mining is becoming crowded. NASA is working with commercial companies to collect lunar samples as well as startups in Europe. But there's one thing that may put China's mission ahead in this race: the full support of the Chinese government. They don't have a change in administrations in China as frequently as the US does. China does not have much political pressure on budget cuts in this area. They're able to look at things in a very long-term way, which is very advantageous because exploring spaces is a long-term, limitless endeavor. Well, that's for joining us. That's all for today. We hope we were able to satisfy your curiosity in this video. If we did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Curiosity Lounge so that you never miss any amazing video from us.